Hey guys, welcome to my channel. I'm really excited to show you my new tractor that I just bought here. I'm going to point the camera on it in just a second. I just picked this one up yesterday actually. It was for sale about four and a half hours from me up in Atlanta, Georgia. Well, let me point the camera down so you can see what I have. This is a John Deere 332, so it's a 16 horsepower Yanmar 3-cylinder diesel with a 44 loader. And I'm just going to kind of do a walk around and show you what I got, show you what else came with it, talk a little bit about the tractor. So most of you watching this are probably already familiar with these tractors. This is just the diesel version of the John Deere 300 series garden tractor. It's like a 318 or 316. 330 and 332 were diesel. 332 had power steering and two remote hydraulics here for the front attachments. You can see the 16 horsepower Yanmar diesel there. And I'll run it in a minute so you can hear it. This one has, looks like about 1,300 hours. I think the paint's been touched up in the past, but overall it's in really good shape. And with the 44 loader, you don't see those much, especially around here. So the story is, the guy I got this from had it about 5 years. He had bought it from a neighbor of his about 5 years before that, who had had it probably since it was new. It doesn't have a deck, but let me show you what else he gave me with it. So as you can see here, it has newer back tires with cast iron wheel weights, slip seat suspension base, has a category 0 limited 3-point hitch, and on the back here it actually has a rear PTO. So that's another attachment. I don't get too much around here. It's complete and a running machine, which is nice. Most of what I get is projects that need a lot of work. This one basically just needs a cleaning, check all the fluids, make sure everything's good. But I know it's been well maintained because he gave me a whole bunch of stuff to go with it, which I'm about to show you. So the first thing here is the back tires that he took off when he put these more aggressive tires on for better traction with the loader. And those are on 12-inch rims. And then he gave me another set of rims here for the back, which have probably been repainted because they're in really good shape. But that's a nice set of rims. I'll definitely use those for another tractor than these tires. It's nice to have a freshly painted set of wheels. It doesn't need any work to put tires on. And then inside here, actually over here, he gave me tire chains for the rear tires for better traction. Not very useful around here since we don't get much snow. And then these boxes of stuff also came with it. He gave me like some John Deere paint that he had used. Well, actually he had gotten all this stuff with it. Some paint here. Some hydraulic oil for flushing the rear end, and some leftover motor oil when he changed the oil in the engine. Then over here we have a whole pile of John Deere parts, which is nice. Owner's manuals and operator's manuals and all sorts of stuff. So I'm just going to kind of page through it and show you what there is, because I find it kind of interesting, and I figured some of you might too. These are like things that someone must have printed off a computer, old catalogs. You can see like original prices for all this stuff. Hydraulic baggers and power flow. Original papers about the 318. 44 loader operator's manual. It's nice to have all this stuff with the tractor because I don't think you could easily find it. All these manuals just about the 44 loader. I'm glad someone kept all this stuff with it. And then this is a big manual on the 330, 332, well, all the models mentioned here. But this is really handy to have. It tells you how to replace seals, part numbers for everything, torque specs. I'm glad to have one of these with this tractor for sure. Operator's manual for the 332. All this stuff probably came with it when it was new. Another big book. This is for the 220 series. That's probably not for this tractor. All this is like documents and receipts and everything. Front attachment manual. Old old brochures from the factory. This is probably the type of stuff you'd pick up in the store when it was new. Kind of neat. And then whole stacks of manuals and catalogs. That's one stack. Let me move the stuff out of the way and show you what else there is. In here we have a whole bunch of decals. Someone must have bought these, like in case they were going to repaint it or something. But all these little things from John Deere are not cheap. So if you wanted to repaint one of these, most of the decals and stickers and like goes on the front grille, that's probably $30 or $40 right there from Deere. So it's nice to have all this stuff with it, extra keys. And down in this green box, and this is how I know that he probably took pretty good care of it, it's a whole pile of almost all OEM parts. Definitely very useful to have. A new air filter from John Deere, boxes of switches, relays, hydraulic hoses, all sorts of filters and stuff. It's just nice to have with the tractor. So definitely the next couple maintenances should be covered. There's oil and filters and everything to do. Oil and air filter changes, and plenty of maintenance. So I just kind of found that interesting to look through, and it made me excited to have that with the tractor. Back to the tractor, there's not much that it needs. I'm just going to give it a good cleaning. I think I may be getting new front tires for it eventually. We'll see how well these ones hold. When I got there, the front tires didn't have any pressure in them. He hadn't blown them up in a while, but they're still not the greatest for having a loader on there. Might get something that can hold a little more weight. And as far as rear ballast, I'll put a picture right here over what I'm talking about. He did give me ballast that weighs about 400 pounds, he estimated. I had to take it off to fit it in my trailer because I brought a small trailer. But that attaches to the 3-point, and he had welded a hitch on there for moving trailers, so that's kind of handy. As well as you can see here in the picture, another complete rear end for a 300 series. I'm not sure why that's there, but it's always nice to have extra parts, I guess. In the bucket, there are the original stands for the loader. That's if you take the loader off. I'm not exactly sure how that works. They're pinned into here or somewhere over here. Maybe I'm not sure how they work, but they keep the loader off the ground so that nothing has to be in the dirt. But that's about it. I'm excited about it. Kind of just a walk around video, and I don't know if there's anything specific you'd like to see on it in the future. Let me know. Ask any questions in the comments. I don't plan to sell this for a while. I usually sell most of my machines, but this is kind of a rare find in this condition with all these parts. And I'm hoping that I can keep it around a little while, depending on how badly somebody wants it, I guess. But if you have any questions about the machine, let me know in the comments. I'll try my best to answer those and answer any questions that you might have about the machine. And if you're new to the channel, if you subscribe, that helps me a lot. Otherwise, just like this video and stick around for the next one. I should be making more in the future about this tractor. So thanks for watching.